back when they said there was going to be no item filters because they wouldn't need them, right? That's gone. That's a thing of the past, right? So their item filters are already.
Hey, yo, everybody, what's up? Tom here, back at you with another video. Dreamcore right now apparently is, suggesting that GGG has abandoned the vision and is just making me PoE 2 more and more PoE 1 like. Now, I think it's a bit early to go down that road because we need to see where they go with the next patch. If they dial things up after the next patch from where they are now, then I think for sure they're definitely going more towards the PoE 1 route. But I think they might dial things back, like make the abyss crafting items more rare. Limit it to a specific league mechanic. It's not on every map. Maybe the next thing that they add into the game is not as powerful. They could pull things back from here. And I think if they pull things back, then they're in patch 0.4, you have a really good idea of where the ideal power level is, because I see 0.3 as GGG saying, okay, why don't we try going a little bit on the non-conservative, non-safe route of player power, okay? And so we have this crafting system that, anybody can make really good items. And I feel like to me, that them giving that to us is them saying, I want to see how the community reacts to it, how the game shapes out, how the economy shapes out, the meta. And we're going to go a little bit above where we traditionally have, just to see how things play out, and then see if we want to keep going in that direction. And so if they up the ante again in 0.4, it's like, we're fine with it, off to the races, we're going to make it more like PoE 1. But if they dial it back, then it's like, okay, this is probably like the absolute peak of where things are ever going to be. So I think on 0.4's release, we're going to see, is this the craziest that they want it to ever be, and it's never going to be like this again? Or is there just going to continue being power creep from here? And then that's what it's really going to come down to.
The best item filters are third party, like that's already a thing, right? And you're gonna have PoB2, you're gonna have PoE2 DB, you got PoE2 Ninja. Like there's all these things, all these resources that you just kind of can't do without if you're gonna play the game to its peak.
I am a believer, Dreamcore. All right. I think after we have, hell froze over and we have trade in game, instant trade in game, right? I think there's a possibility that they start to implement some of these long-awaited features, these quality of life features in the game. Now, will it be like in the next year? Maybe not. But stuff like a passive tree layout, which has been long promised, stuff like having all the crafting mods in game. I'm even of the mindset, dude.
I think it would be better if they had that stuff. Well, okay, the passive tree thing is a little bit like, seems like, I just feel like the UI for that would be so arcane that maybe it shouldn't be in the base game. But a list of mods that can roll on an item, I think they could do that. They'd come up with an elegant way to do it with very few clicks.
What's new?
Alright, 2 divine. Nice.
Oh, it's you.
Apparently you can make money trading stuff. Whoa, fracturing orbs went up a lot. Look at that. You can make money like this, right? Because you sell a fracturing orb for 20 greater exalts. No, you sell a fracturing orb for 30 greater exalts. And then you buy a fracturing orb for 20 greater exalts. I feel like that can work, right? So I go here. I don't have any right now. Fuck it. I don't want to do that. If anything, I want to buy... See how much the simulacrum splinters are. Because I got a lot of stuff. I got like, yeah. I got a lot of currency from running that. Alright, 3 to 1, let's say. I need 150. I have 27. So I need 122. 123. Should I use a divine? And you get 2 runs out of a divine. Well, I just made 2 divines from 1 run. How likely is that to stay the case? Also, what does it sell for? Not much more. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. I could get a larger sample size if I just use 2 divines. They go for 800. Actually, it doesn't.
Let's see if there are any takers.
Why are people shorting the market? Alright, we'll run a map in the meantime. fuck, I died on this map.
Hail.
Alright. Well. Oh. Damn it, I meant to do this first. Alright. We get one life here. The only time I died before was when I fell off my Roa. I gotta stay on this Roa at all costs here.
Fury. An easy trophy.
So wait, I spent 2 divs for 852 splinters. So that is 750 is 5 runs. So 2 div for 5 runs. So we're talking 2/5 of a div per run. Okay. 2/5 of a div is, what is it, like 16 chaos? No, it's like 36 chaos to a div. So 2/5 of 36. 1/5. 7. So we're talking like 14 chaos per map. I feel like I'm gonna get more than 14 chaos per map here.
item filter in game. I think they're gonna do it. Last Epoch has done it. I think it will happen, but there will still be the third-party options, just like there's still, what is it? There's like PoE2 assistant. I've never used it before, but it's like, what is it? Wealthy Exile.
shit.
I don't even know. Path of Exile 1 add-on for selling stuff. That's still in game. I think they're gonna slowly move all this in game because after how successful the marketplace has been, I've only seen praise for this stuff. I think they realize how big a factor this is on people's enjoyment of the game. I know, at least for me, it's just been huge.
It's been amazing.
It has
Trade
been.
is incredible. Yeah,
Right.
I play Trade this league and it's incredible.
Right.
Also, how they implemented it without any real big hiccups is insane, actually.
Yeah. And,
Like
and
they
the
went
launch
to
as
town
well.
with that. Yeah.
There
Oh,
was
the
almost
launch was crazy. We didn't even discuss the launch. Like I had almost. I think I had one
I
disconnect.
had no issues.
And I think it was even my own internet, so it's like, okay. Like,
And that
it was
was-
crazy launch. Like, I thought this was going to be really bad. You know, it's a free weekend. Right?
Can of
Okay,
worms.
now-
Said anything.
We want to talk about
Performance is another
performance. Want to talk
Wait,
about crashes and performance?
I'm just going to say,
You just
I've been totally.
hated
I'm sorry, like,
performance.
I know that a lot of people have really bad performance issues, and I can sympathise with them big time because I had terrible performance issues in 0.2, really bad performance issues. In this patch, I've had none.
Oh my
Zero
God.
performance issues.
I've had no
completely
performance
fine.
issues
I'm gonna
either.
kick Dream from the call, dude.
Literally
I'm
no
getting out of
problem.
here.
Nah,
Jesus, man.
But like I mean I had ridiculous performance issues in 0.2. Like they were so bad that I didn't even want to play the game because it was like what is the point? Like I'm just wasting my time. Like I'd open a map, I'd crash like on the first pack or something. Map's gone. Like,
Not that bad.
yeah. So
That's bad.
but this patch, this patch has been
Yeah,
has been really good.
servers, at least from my perspective, it seems like Dream yours. European servers, much better state than before. Were you having problems last week?
better.
Much better? That's
Shit.
awesome.
Yeah, so much better. I mean, obviously they said that they moved providers, right? And they said they were DDoSing themselves to try and make sure. Yeah, they've been
I
really
gotta
good.
stop dodging.
Okay, so before I kick you off the call, sir,
I got used to dodging a lot from the I got used to dodging a lot from my ult, which doesn't have a Roa. I gotta remember, stop dodging, stop dodging.
GOG local hold. Okay, so when I say performance issues, I guess how about we open the can of worms? Let's do performance and then this. So obviously there are the crashes, and obviously GGG wants to fix crashes and performance issues, right, guys? This is probably their #1 thing they're working on. Obviously, the people designing content, art and stuff aren't working on it. It's probably separate people. They're working on it, guys. Hopefully, crossing fingers, right? They don't want that. So my question to you guys, one, are you guys having crashes like me? I'm having rendering crashes every 20 minutes, and I've tried almost everything. Reverting drivers, swapping to Vulkan, turning down my graphics, upping my shader cache, and I'm still having crashes, which sucks. Okay, so that's question number one. Question number two, they want to fix performance, but with Abyss, as fun and awesome as Abyss is the visual clarity dream of PoE 2 dead? Completely dead. Because guys, Abyss is even base level. I haven't really juiced any maps. Visual clarity is crazy. Will performance ever get good in a game with graphics as awesome as PoE 2? With all the effects as awesome as in PoE 2? With like that level of monsters on screen? Like, is that ever going to happen? So, Durgog, crashing, not crashing, and visual clarity. What the hell's going on? Is it going to be reverted out?
So I'm cursed on performance because I had some things that are not related to Path of Exile that wrecked me at the start of the league, which is that there was a
there's,
storm
16
on. So
chaos.
6 a.m. my time is when the league launches, right?
Well, I'm gonna dump everything
there was a storm
into
that went
a
through here at like 2:15 a.m.
into a
and
tab here.
power went out, and 90% of my suburb had power back by 3 a.m. When did I get power back? I got power back about 4 p.m. And so, like, I'm actually in the shower with food in the slow cooker cooking, all ready for league start, and then suddenly I have this cursed start to the league. But anyways, that's not Grinding New Games' fault. That's just
Maybe they cursed
really
you, dude.
bad luck.
They're sending storms
just-
from New Zealand to Australia. They're like, curse Sir GOG.
And just in the 10, it was just the 10% of my suburb that popped it. It was not like the whole suburb was out, but only for an hour, and they got 90% of it back. But I was just in that 10% that didn't.
Okay.
Anyways, random rants about things that aren't Granny Gear Games related. My performance degradation is abysmal in Abysses at the moment. If I like. I'm not really. I mentioned I've sort of transitioned mostly off Fireball, but I am still throwing Fireballs, especially, just the Mana Tempest empowered Fireball is still strong. And I'll fire that off at a pack, but then after I do that, I've learned, okay, once it impacts, press escape to pause the game, wait 3 seconds, then unpause. It is the act of igniting monsters in Abysses seems to just be horrible. And I'm currently set up in a way that I am igniting, not to scale the damage of the ignite, but because the act of igniting the monster adds a lot of damage. So this is a messy spot. I don't know about other things, but I feel like the patch, was it yesterday or the day before? The semi-recent patch that it was one step forward, but I feel like we're 5 steps behind the line at the moment. So we went from 5 steps away to right to 4
If
steps
I die
away.
on this one, I'm
I've
gonna
tried
start
other
just farming
things.
tier 2.
DX12 for some reason has just.
I was running a tier 2 one before when I made all that
there's something
currency,
that
so
would only affect you if you're streaming or recording gameplay, but like,
not concerned about
DX12
experience.
just does not record in OBS. OBS doesn't acknowledge that it exists right now. That's a 030 change. It was working fine beforehand. So there's a bunch of little specific problems like this that have been coming up. I would say performance-wise, this is also really bad league for me in Period 1 was 3.7. It's miles better than 3.7 was, but it's one of the worst leagues in general performance so far.
It's same for me. I upgraded my CPU like 2 days before, just to hopefully improve performance, and it's been mostly better, but I've also noticed fire effects and ignite tanks performance. There's that one map where you can set fire to the crops.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's super cute, but it makes my FPS go from 120 to like 40 instantly. And I'm also playing a build that ignite stuff, and it's so laggy. And then there's the Overrun by the Abyss maps. Those are just actually 4 FPS, and you start noticing like 7,000 T-posing corpses. It's like, this is.
I think I must
really
have picked the best build for this league, right? Because I don't have any. I'm not igniting anything. I mean, the gas clouds don't seem to tank my performance. There's just gas clouds everywhere. Everything's just dying. I'm just chilling,
Add it as a pro on your mobilytics guide. It like doesn't lag. I'm gonna start.
Start using it on there, dude. I'm gonna add it later. No lag.
Yep.
You can use Elemental Focus has a hidden buff of applies no ignite, improves your FPS. Oh, oil grenade, Oil grenade is great for single target. I literally had to stop using it because of the performance.
I heard about oil grenade.
You ignite that oil grenade, it makes your FPS. It cuts it to like a quarter. So it's but okay. So in terms of like graphical performance and that's been bad, but in terms of servers have been really good. I did get like a lot of crashes at the start, but then I upgraded my GPU, and not my GPU. My drivers, GPU drivers, and that seems to solve it. But
look at you.
But yeah, man, I don't know. Like, do I need to now? I just spent so much money on a new CPU, and now it's like, do I need to get a new GPU, or do I just like not play builds with fire anymore?
Try it out. I don't. Maybe there's some weird performance glitch added with how flammability and ignite works too. Maybe there's some calculation going on behind the scenes that they gotta optimize. Could be that. There's a lot of crap running behind.
But Burning Ground was always a problem. And the amount of corpses, like the corpses not being destroyed in Abyss is really bad.
Oh, local hold.
Yeah.
Burning Ground. Great segue. Visual clarity and ground effects. Oh my. Okay, we've got the Doomslayer Grenades, ranged. We've got Fireball. Dang it, ranged. All right. Oh, we've got Gas Grenade. Pretty much ranged as well. So none of you have the flight right now. We're playing in melee with these ground effects. Guys, I don't know. Especially with Abyss. I feel... I've been loving this patch. Glazing this patch. I've played like 70 hours so far. Kinda dumb. Sacrificing sleep. Why in the world did they do green on green on green with Abyss and have all the Abyssal monsters have AoE degens that drop on the ground, whether it's from a rare mod, whether it's from an attack? Like, it is night and day difference, I swear.
Yeah, I don't like
It's
that.
engaging, right? You gotta move around. But it's also very frustrating with the ground degens. What is the fascination here? Because I know the answer used to be, we have to kill the players some way with on-death effects. That was the PoE 1 answer, right? Are we in the same place with PoE 2? Wherein that's one of the big ways to kill players is on-death effects, ground degens, with state of the game. Because with the visual clarity crap, like, it is very
But it only works on
frustrating, and I
melee
know
characters.
There are solutions, but it still feels frustrating and egregiously evident in every single map I do.
It's very frustrating, and the solutions are not easy. Like, getting high life regen is a lot harder in PoE 2. I don't know. It feels like they talk about the game wanting to be more like D2, which I think... Okay, I still think D2 is like the best ARPG in terms of just like how clean it is, and it manages to get that feeling of like exploding tons of monsters without it being visually overwhelming and still satisfying. Like, you're still getting the loot, and I don't know how they've done that. Well, I don't know how they did that. Ancient game. But it seems like PoE 2 is just going the same route of like quantity over quality. It's like 17 trillion monsters for your 1 in 2,000 chance of getting a divine ball. I don't know. I don't know how they're meant to do it. And it is causing problems. Because like ground degen, in a game with fewer monsters and a lot more visual clarity, makes sense because you can run around it. But when there is burning ground and chilled ground and delirium fog and you're exploding stuff on the ground, how am I meant to see that? Like, you don't. You literally don't. And I think in a vacuum, maybe they test it and be like, oh, sweet, this looks so cool. But then in practice, it is invisible. And I don't like it.
I think on-death effects in general have been done really poorly this patch in particular, because the thing is, they've already done it really well in this game. Okay, you got those huge like bloater monsters in Act 3. They die, and then there's this giant like explosion, and everyone, you know, you've got to be blind not to see it, right? You know this, and if you die to that, like, you never feel bad about dying to something like that, because that's very obvious and telegraphed. Yep. They already made a great change in PoE 1, and obviously they're for that in PoE 2, like detonate dead. But like someone said in the chat here, there's like a detonate dead effect in the game right now. I don't know if they nerfed it in the most recent patch, but it killed Quinn, right? And it was like a 1 second, or maybe less than a second, just like that, right? He was standing on something. You could barely even see the animation, and he just insta-dies. He had like over 3,000 life or something. It was quite obviously a percentage-based explosion, which I think is something they said they weren't going to do in PoE 2. But yeah, like, just in general, on-death effects are something that, to do them well, they need to be well telegraphed, and they should be dangerous. Let me be clear about that, right? It should be something that's fairly... It's not always happening, but when it does happen, it's dangerous, and it's very well telegraphed. And then if you die to it, that's your fault, right?
Totally agree.
And you also you don't feel bad about it, because you're like, well, I should have seen that. But if it's the case where it's just like tiny animation, or in some cases no animation at all because it's obscured by other things, which is what's happening most of the time, then yeah.
Totally agree. That's what I'm talking about. Like, they solved it in PoE 2. Like, they had it on launch in PoE 2, and they were like, oh guys, we have to, you know, here we're gonna add a whole bunch more telegraphs, be very evident about that. And I thought it was in a really good place by the end of 0.2. And then it's really just with Abyss. Like, it's not anywhere else in the game, but Abyss is in every map, so you're constantly encountering it. And it's so prevalent. Sorry, Sir Gog, you were gonna say something.
The other one, like you guys have been mentioning the bloaters, and that I think is because you're not igniting very much that you're seeing them. If you are setting monsters around them on fire, then you will find those bloaters.
No, why am I not on my row?
They're not super hard to see, but I have definitely noticed that because of all of the ground clutter that comes up when you fight an abyss, I have had to spec into detonate dead a bit. I found detonate
I don't lose
dead
the
has
map
been
if I
a
go to
real
character
problem
selection,
solver
right?
for me, because partly it's not the worst damage spell in the game.
I guess only one way to find
it's
out.
quite solid for damage, but I can just go, oh look, a whole bunch of corpses there that are obscuring my sight. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, sure, that's 100% of my mana just gone, but I've cleared up the ground.
Right.
I can see again if there's ever anything that's making that difficult, and also you may have done some damage that's useful as well.
Definitely. So I guess as a final ultimate question on this point, PoE 2 was gonna be a game with less monsters on screen with a little bit more telegraphed combat. And yes,
why wasn't
yes,
I on
guys,
my
even though
Roa?
some people think this is not the case, at the end you do
Oh
become
my
God.
God, I wasn't on my
In the RPG,
fucking
you become
Roa.
God at the end of the day, right? It's a slower progression, but you do become godly.
Fuck!
With what happened, I guess
That's
let's
what
just
caused
look
me
at
to die
0-3.
both fucking
Is that
times!
basically thrown out? I feel like it's the point of no return.
Oh my
Where
God!
even I'd say starting at the end of Act 3 and in the interludes, with this Abyss mechanic, which I have admitted
So
is very,
fucking
very
pissed
fun.
about that.
Screen is clogged with monsters. You need stuff that explodes the entire screen. You know, the boss fights can still be mechanically challenging if you're not blowing them up. But clearing packs...
Fuck!
I mean, Act 1, Act 2, parts of Act 3, it's very deliberate, but after that, it kind of loses that sort of gameplay. Do you guys think there's any reversing
Just needed to be on my
that, or do you
fucking
think they're
Roa!
gonna embrace this style of game with these mechanics, like Abyss, and anything going forward? Where lots of monsters on screen, you gotta kill them quick before they blow up and kill you, or just kill you outright.
Fucking
We're
Christ!
gonna get closer and closer and closer to PoE 1 as we get toward launch, and as
It's a
more
fucking
stuff gets
divine I wasted
gonna start
already.
looking and feeling more like PoE 1, which is what a lot of people want. And don't be scared if that's the case, but
Fuck
yeah,
me, dude. I can beat
I
that
don't
fucking
see
event
how-
if I just start on my
how do
fucking
you go
Roa.
backwards from this? Really?
Right, it's really tough. It really is.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
100%
kind of the same
certain.
way. Go on.
Breach. Yeah, like Breach went from... Breach was
Why
more
am I
intense
not on
in
my
0,
goddamn Roa? I am.
030, and Breach was nerfed to a state where it's now like it is intense, but it is a step down from Abyss. And they could decide, okay, well, the current League mechanic is going to be at modern Abyss level, but the past League mechanics are going to be at modern Breach level, or they might decide to go something different. And you could also have a mechanic, we haven't really seen this much in PoE 1, I guess Arch Nemesis League maybe, but you could have a mechanic that's more about 1 gigajuiced rare or 1 pack of rare monsters.
You know what? I need to beat it on the hardest level once so I get the fucking passive coins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they can do something that they do in PoE 1 a lot, which is introduce a new mechanic for a league. It's very busted and broken and like overpowered, both in terms of what you can do with it, right, in terms of the rewards, and also the monsters and things like that are generally overtuned. That's always the case in PoE 1. Like, how many times have you seen like Zizaran or Quinn die in hardcore to the league mechanic, where their character literally can't die to other content in the game because league mechanic is really, really kind of overtuned, and that's very deliberate. They do that deliberately. That is absolutely the case because they don't want to make something too easy and then introduce it because they can't really make it, but they can make it really hard and then pull the power down slightly. They can do it like that, and then when Abyss goes into the core game, which is I'm pretty sure that's going to happen, it's going to be rarer to encounter, right? You're not going to see it in every map,
Yep.
which means you get less crafting maps.
Thank you.
But also, they can adjust the power level of the monsters to make it more suited to the kind of base game, and then they'll introduce something new on top, and the next league will have something else, and that will be the new overtuned, like, crazy thing that everyone's interacting with, right? That's kind of the formula they've gone with in PoE 1, and it's worked for them. So that's kind of how I could see it happening. But in terms of your question about, like having so many monsters on the screen and this idea of having, like, a more you know, a more simpler, I guess, gameplay style where you're just fighting like a couple of monsters at a time.
Yeah.
I just can't see that ever being a thing in PoE 2. Like it's just.
Could be better.
It feels like it's almost a fantasy in a way because people really want that like end game where they can like massively juice maps and just like push their character build to the limit, and you can't have both of those things at the same time. It's just not. That's not how. You would have to have monsters that like you basically need to be doing a boss gauntlet in maps for that to be a thing, right? So you're just fighting one monster at a time, and they drop like loads of loot, rather than loads of groups of monsters.
Yeah.
So.
I think a fantasy is a good way to put it. You know, it's what we see in trailers, but has that played out in game at all? Right?
Yeah.
Not really. So, and you know, I talk about how I don't even know if I even want that anymore. Like it was a cool pitch, right? And it does feel good early game, but I mean, I guess it is evidence that I'm just having such a fun time with like Abyss, and I'm playing so much, so it must work. Like it must be what I want at least. And a lot of people seem to be really enjoying it too. So
Yeah.
I'm good with it. I'm good
Also has to do with how good the rewards are for it.
Me too. It's kind of stupid.
Crazy.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Abyss. You said it's probably going core. You guys all agree, like Abyss gotta go.
100%.
Like, come on.
It
Don't
has
toss that
to.
out.
And, dude, but what about the crafting mechanics, right? A lot of these new crafting mechanics are linked to Abyss. So are they going to give us something new next week, or are we going to go back to like Struggle City when it comes to crafting?
We might
can't
lose
go
the
back.
ornament, we might lose a couple little things, but I think the core of it will remain. The big question is how accessible Omen of homogenizing exaltation is next league, whether it remains at its current reasonably generous rarity, and also how rare perfect exalts remain in the future. Do they stay? I don't know, maybe. Like, it seems like they're maybe 6 times as rare as divines, 2.5 times as rare as the nulls, but I'm not sure. I don't know if that's been you guys' findings more than me. That's
Me and perfect result.
Yeah, it does seem like 4
I
times
believe-
as rare.
I'm trying to think of how many I dropped. Perfect result.
sorry, Lockhole, were you comparing that to the divine orb or to the orb of
To the
Anomen?
To the divine, yeah. I can check
About
my
4.
filter
Yeah,
anyway.
about 4 times. as
About
rare, so-
4 times.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
that's the ultra end game. I'm talking about like desecration, which fills in that nice lower end gap. Is there going to be a replacement for that? Because that's a very important.
You don't need homogenizing for
stepping
that.
stone in gear progression currently. Maybe they will have it that, you know, I don't know, 1 out of 4 maps has an abyss, and then each abyss is guaranteed that you get X number of preserved bones. Instead of now,
No,
where
they're
it's
not
like,
going to guarantee it.
sometimes
It's gonna be random.
Oh my
Those
god,
things-
dude.
Those bones are so good, man.
I know.
During the campaign.
I think they'll
You're
just
gonna miss
rely on
them.
like the normal currency for crafting, like in terms of the campaign. Like I think they will introduce Abyss in the campaign because that's something they've been doing. Yeah, exactly. They'll just introduce it, right? They'll just say, "Here's the thing," and then it will spawn randomly from there on. From that, like it'll be a guaranteed spawn in one of the maps, and then it will spawn randomly.
And guaranteed bone, hopefully. 'Cause
Thinking
you don't
about
wanna
my
have,
bones
like,
going away. Oh, that makes me
Yeah,
so
yeah.
sad. Holy crap. I don't.
Imagine it's like a 1 in 5% chance to get a 1 in 5 chance to get a bone from an abyss, and then you're finding like 1 abyss per 5 zones. You're getting 1 bone per.
You can spec them. I'm assuming there'll be a precursor tablet for this. So,
But I'm talking about campaign, especially that as well.
oh, campaign, I think they're on, honestly, and that's going to be
Think so?
That's gonna,
But they're so nice.
So much power.
They might leave it introduced in Act 1. Like you might find it in one of these early Act 1 zones, and then it spawns randomly. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Because
And they might.
Yeah.
There might be something else that they add. Or, I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is
getting to the head.
this was done so much better than the Wisp mechanic. Like, I am so glad that they went all out and they hit every facet that Chris laid out in his talk at GDC in 2019. Like, they did crafting, they did bosses, they did an extra little dungeon, they did custom monsters. Right? It was everything. I really like that, as opposed to Wisp, which really just felt like an afterthought. And honestly,
They just dunked on the Wisps, didn't they? Because they said that this is the first league mechanic, which means they basically they threw that one out. They're like, no, that one wasn't good enough. We're not even acknowledging that was a thing.
It's not a thing, guys.
I think the Wisps are actually, like, they're a fun addition. They just weren't good as a focus of a league.
Right.
In that
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah.
they're sort of more like rogue exiles or
Exactly.
boxes. Like,
They were like an
They're
early
fine.
PoE 1 league, like a 1.0 or like a 2, even like a 1.0. I don't think like a 2.0 was pretty dang good. Some of those leagues, yeah. It was like Ascendancy. Atlas was. Oh, I guess those aren't. Yeah, but
yeah, the league mechanics back then, the simplest one was probably Essence around that era.
Essence.
and even that I mean, with all the crafting and everything, like just the talismans
very
and
cool.
stuff. Yeah, so I feel like this-
Talismans was a dumpster tier one early on.
yeah.
Talismans were just,
Oh.
yeah, that was really underpowered.
I meant
Yeah,
the
but I mean-
spirits that dropped the talismans.
At
Like,
the
that was-
time, do you remember at the time that was insanely innovative. It was mind blowing. Strong boxes. That was one of the first leagues, and when they announced it, I was like, this a box that you can use a crafting currency on. It was like, that is the coolest thing ever, because no other game I'd seen had done like league mechanics. So in retrospect, yeah, okay, tormented spirits and strong boxes were lame and small because we have our current perspective, but at the time that was as innovative as synthesis.
Yeah.
So
It is legitimately crazy how much content they packed into this update. Yeah, we talked about balance for
nuts.
50 freaking minutes and how, it's divisive, but the amount of crap that they put into this update is kind of crazy, and the fact that PoE 1 gets a league end of October on the 24th or 31st, whatever day it launches, that's crazy. And then
They're
December,
going wild.
I mean, and
Yeah,
then
they
December, PoE 2 league.
We want to craft on this bad boy.
Will they? I think they're going to make do on it. I really do.
It looks like it.
It's
It-
crazy
no one can
timeline.
say otherwise at the moment, right? I mean,
Does this sell
I
for
didn't
anything?
expect them to be posting about PoE 1 this early into the
Right.
PoE 2
Yeah.
league. They're just
Confirmation.
like, okay, guys, like here it is. We're confirming it. That's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. It's almost too much. I'm starting to be like, dude, when do I get a break?
Dude, that is exactly how. I saw that post and I was thinking, hold on a minute, because
just
like, do you guys remember that Chris announcement on the stage, right? ExileCon. I remember thinking, if they actually do this, I'm screwed, right? Like how can I ever do anything? I'm never gonna play any other game ever again, because they're gonna have like PoE 1, then there's PoE 2, and their original plan was 3-month releases, so it would have been even more ridiculous than what this is right now. But this is already crazy. Like they're already talking about PoE 1. I don't feel like I'm anywhere near done with PoE 2 yet. So yeah, it's wild.
Just do
I have
what I
like a
do.
massive back catalogue of games that I want to play at some point, and it looks like I'm never going to be able to play them. So there we go.
Just do what I did and only play to Act 4 in PoE 1 and get really depressed about it. And
Sure.
guys,
That's nice.
I don't think we've talked about that since then. I really hope I enjoy 3.27. I don't know what the hell I was like dejected. It was really sad, so I'm gonna give it a go again. I think I was just in a bad mind state, but
Can I give you a suggestion for getting through the campaign in
Yeah.
Act 1, PoE 1, if
Yeah.
you're not specialised in it?
Yeah.
Do a leveling group with someone that with just some random person that you know is like reasonably good at it, because it just feels very different to play in 2-player. You don't need to min-max it, just play 2-player for something different, and then when you get to early mapping, then just work on doing the Atlas. I don't necessarily need to follow the most optimal way, but just get through it reasonably effectively. The one thing I'm worried about though, in PoE 2, the trade system has been really good. I think in PoE 1, it's going to feel a lot worse for a reason that people haven't really talked about much yet, and that is that it is going to absolutely transform what items are good early in progression. And it is going to make it so much more important to be one of the first 10,000 people in the maps. Not just in the maps, but into 17s. You are going to get the snowballing advantage from being one of the first 10,000 into 17s is going to be unbelievable in PoE 1, and that's because the player base is more optimized there. And so the way that the instant trade helps more optimized players get further ahead than they otherwise could is going to be more marked in PoE1.
Have fun, guys. I think you're right. Do you think they're going to implement it in 3.27, man? Or do you think they're going to maybe wait a little bit?
I think they have to.
You think they have to?
I actually think if they don't introduce it in 3.27, people are going to be really
Actually,
mad.
yeah, because Sergog, you brought something up that we completely combed over. You said that the old trade system is basically dead in PoE 2. So you've tried it out and people just aren't responding. That's actually kind of fascinating.
Yeah, that was my experience. Because remember, I was behind when I was in Act 3. I was, like, I'd had the power blackout, as well as a reasonably slow, scuffed start.
Right.
And so I'm just pinging people to trade various items that would have been upgrades, and it's like, no one responding, or for almost all of them.
I mean, it makes sense. Gold is easy to get. Like, there's not a lot of friction to it. Like, yeah, I don't see people using that old system really at all. Like, is there a gate? Is there a gold gate at the very top end? Because I bought some, like, 8 divine items yesterday. Is there any real gold gate for people who are not really? It's kind of the non-factor.
Yeah, it's a non-factor. You can
so,
trade for mythic uniques at like 17,000, I think.
Yeah, I don't see people using the old system then. That's pretty wild. Do maybe one of you guys knows, do people still use TFT for like bulk trading or other sites for that? So they do. They still do that.
Now, TFTs there mostly people use it because of their scammer blacklist.
Oh, okay. Got it.
It's just because they're very ruthless at just pruning out anyone
Right.
who does anything remotely dishonest. So
Okay.
if you're doing any sort of trade that there might be a bit of where you're taking any risks involving that, then yeah, people either use TFT. They did for a period use the old Path of Exile services Discord, but that's pretty much flopped because they're less strict than TFT on banning people, and as a result, the scammers sort of get a second chance there.
And I just realized that hasn't come out of my mouth in like almost 2 years, because I didn't go on there since what, for settlers, for like some I sold some like services. Man, I don't think that's on my Discord list anymore.
It's not services really. Like, I mean, services.
Oh, they don't
still
do services
exist,
anymore? Like the trade, because I used to sell challenges.
Trades.
Oh, it's mostly trade now? Oh, okay.
Like, to give a sense, in 326, as soon as I had like 10 divines, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to go on TFT and just buy people's entire scarab tabs for a bit, and then sell them through Faustus.
Okay. Now, okay, guys, I have 2 things that kind of relate to Path of Exile 1 and Path of Exile 2, since we're kind of in PoE 1, PoE 2 brain right now. Okay, one of them is super simple. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, you guys. Should be a really brief topic. Path of Exile 1 has a challenge reward system. 3 challenges, you complete the challenges, you get cool cosmetic rewards. Awesome, love it, always chase that in game. PoE 2 doesn't currently have it. Would you guys play more if challenges were implemented and you can earn like a free armor set or a free cool pet by doing certain things in the game at all? Would you be motivated by that in the slightest, or no?
No.
I'm curious.
Nope.
No?
Not, but I think it is good for the game. I think they should add it.
Yeah, they should
couldn't
absolutely
care
add it,
less.
Like for early
I-
access, because I think they said they'll add it in 1.0,
Yeah.
but I think they should just do it for early access, honestly.
I mean, they're treating the rest of the game as a full release, right? So why not?
Right. Was just curious.
Yeah,
should.
for me personally, it doesn't like challenges have never been a thing for me in PoE 1. Like, I just get what I get. Basically, I just
Right.
if the league is really good, like I end up completing all the challenges, mostly just playing normally, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see why they shouldn't add that. Like, I think it's a cool idea. They're already doing like that. They've been doing. Maybe it's because they've been doing a lot of cosmetics for like Twitch drops and things like that.
Yeah.
It might
And
be
beating
that
campaign. Beating
yeah,
Act
it might be
1.
that those resources are going on that instead, right? Yeah, exactly. They've done like 3 cosmetics, right, for doing Act 1
Yep.
for the free weekend. So
I think it would be so cool if you got like a cosmetic for beating an arbiter of something. I think it would push quite a few people who otherwise wouldn't to maybe try to progress their character all the way to the end game.
Yeah.
Which would be
Even if it's just like a hideout decoration or something.
yeah.
Something. A
that'd be
lot of people do. They come in chat and they're like, "Why are there no challenges?" Like, I don't know.
So, tell you what I would do if I was grinding gear games. This is going to be considering their commercial side as well. I would have a hideout because players love hideout MTX. I would have a hideout that's available 2 ways. You can get it. You can get it for completing challenges, but you make an exception. This is not the way we usually do it because we're currently in early access. 90 days after the end of the league, it'll then go into the MDX store as something for sale.
Interesting.
So that's different to what they normally do. And so it's a timed exclusive to get it, and it's also free if you can do the challenges. But if you don't do them because you don't discover the game until full release, then you haven't missed out on it forever. And in my philosophy with challenges, I generally target the grindy ones, and then once I've done the grindy ones, I then go and do the Nif Naf and Trivia. So I'm sitting at 30 in Mercenaries League, but there's a lot of really low-hanging fruit. I could hit 38 with ease. 40 would take quite a bit of grinding. I haven't done, 250 invitation explicit modifiers. That's so each point on that is roughly you get 1.5 per map, I think. And that's assuming you throw a lot of exalted orbs at it, which in PoE1 they're not that expensive, but they are rare. That one is something that I'm a long way off from, and I think there's another one I'm a long way off from.
I think.
30 tier 7s.
I think that would be a really crafty idea, Sir Gog. I think that's really smart. Just having it appear, maybe not even 90 days after, maybe it's just in it full release. Once it hits 1.0, we add it to the shop, but you can earn it in 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.10. You know, whenever we actually get to
0.10.
I won't. I'm sorry for putting that into the universe. We won't hit 0.10, guys.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
They seem, guys, because they've changed the definitions. No, like Jonathan, from everything I've heard, it's just now campaign. That's really the only real thing. It's campaign. Nothing else is obviously balance has to be in a good spot, but okay, we'll see what that happens. I think it's just they get all the accent and then they'll go into 1.0 and then they'll add classes and crap. But so I think for a lot of players, the full release won't be until they have, I think Sir Gog said this before, 12 classes, 36 ascendancies, everything laid out. That's when the full game is actually out to a lot of people. The 1.0 swap is just going to be free to play in full campaign in game. So I think we might get 1.0 actually next year, given that is 1.0 now. Now the other thing I really wanted to bring up, you guys. So Dawn of the Hunt was a very controversial league, very very polarizing league, and I think we all talked about it at great length, whether on streams or in videos or in podcasts. 0-3 day one seemed like it was going to be a lot of the same. But I swear, after the initial evening, going into the morning, everybody seemed to chill out a little bit and actually come to really like the game. I think a lot of that was related to maybe people swapping to secondary characters or new builds and not trying to brute force their way through the game with their initial league started idea if it was just a failed one. But I really noticed that from a lot of creators and a lot of players. Crazy initial frustration, very similar to Dawn of the Hunt. First, I'd say 12 to 16 hours, followed by everybody almost coming together and really, really liking the game. Now, I'm curious. I want to pose the question. You know what? Aside from some extra drama on top of that, why do you guys think that was? Do you think that just the game is much better now? Do you think people are happier now that both games are being supported? Do you think it's a mix of the two? Is there some other catalyst? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it.
Can I throw a cat and the pigeons on this with my answer? And go first, because...
Whoa, one sec. No. Sir Gog, what did you just say? Can you throw a cat in the pigeon?
Yeah, that's a normal saying.
That sounds very Australian.
What?
That sounds very Australian.
What is a cat in the pigeon? Is that throwing a...
He's throwing a spanner in the works, is what he's saying.
Smatter in the... Okay, that's very British as well, but I understand that one a little bit more. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, so here's my cat and the pigeons, right? There's this really disturbing echo chamber effect amongst content creators, where I found this in 020. I was in a foul mood one day when I made a video, and as a result, it was more negative than I generally was. I would say I considered 020 early on to be a 4.5 out of 10 release. This one day I was in a foul mood and I put out a video that made it seem like it was a 2.5 or 3 out of 10. And that ended up doing substantially better financially. as a content creator than the videos that were more in line with where I generally was in thinking about the league. Now, content creators, a lot of them smart people, can work this out, and so they go, okay, I need to exaggerate the current state of the game. Whether it's positive or negative, I need to exaggerate it because by doing this, I will make, a video you might make $350 instead of $150, or a video might make $150 instead of 60, or whatever it is. It's a substantial difference, and especially if it's your livelihood, and especially because in the content creator space, unless you're at Zizaran's level, you're not making a substantial sum of money. Like I think I've made minimum wage from YouTube on maybe 6 months ever. There's this really strong financial incentive to exaggerate things. Now, that happens, but then at the same time, people also do have their own honest feelings. And so there can be this tendency where you're feeling things are better. In 020, you're feeling, oh, it's a 4 or 10 release. In 030, you're thinking, it's not perfect, but it's 7.5 out of 10. And then there's this tendency that says, okay, well, I'm going to say it's 3 of 10. I'm going to say it's 9 of 10. And so it makes it seem like there's a wider gulf than there is. And then we tend to be have this sense where you're as a content creator, you're somewhat of a like, not necessarily an opinion changer, but you do have an influence on opinions even when you're not really trying to. And sometimes you do try to as well, but even if you're not, you do have a bit of an influence on opinions. And when you get this real echo chamber going, where 8 of 10 creators are saying this is a dumpster tier release, the other 2 you are not seeing because the YouTube algorithm isn't serving them up, because the people who saw it early ended up clicking off it really quickly. That's what happens in 020, and so you end up with this sort of, it's censorship's the wrong word, but it's sort of almost censorship, where the algorithm, there's this algorithmic pseudo-censorship where unpopular opinions get silenced, popular opinions thrive, and also, even if you don't have them, there's a financial incentive to pretend to do. Now in 030, it's somewhat the other way around. Ultimately, I think in this case, the reality is 020 was less bad than public opinion said, even though it wasn't a very good release. 030 maybe not quite as good as the current consensus, but it's still a good release. And that's my catalog opinion. I'm gonna shut up and leave it to you guys now.
No, that was very sensible, dude. No, and I have a new saying now. So I'm gonna drop that right when I go up there. I'm gonna be like to my wife, yeah, so I know we're going to the zoo today, but I'm gonna throw a cat amongst the pigeons here, and she's gonna be like, whoa, what are you talking about? And it's good.
Don't do that.
Yeah, no, that's a good. I love it. That's a very reasonable take, I think. I was like kind of shell-shocked. Okay, so here's my like initial experience, and I think you're right. Like people are very positive about the league, and maybe it's created like the positive echo chamber now. It seems like everybody loves the league, so now it's like top getting everywhere. I was like shell-shocked when I got off on day one. Like I was having crash issues, but I had so much fun. And I got off, I saw some reactions, and oh my god, it's trash, this is the worst thing ever, and everything bubbled to the top, and I was like, well, here we go again. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be unfortunate. And then I like got on the next day and did the same thing. Like I played for like an hour, some ungodly amount, and then I got off, and opinion had like almost completely shifted, which is weird because I think you're right. Like negativity a lot of the time does really sell, and it performs way better than videos now, right? Like 0.2 videos, it's popping the heck off for a lot of people, especially those who had negative opinions. And I know YouTube might have had some changes with the algorithm and all of that, but it is fascinating to see. If people did have that financial incentive, I would have thought, like, and I'm sure they do, but I would have thought a lot more people would have really dug in and really tried to dig into the negativity and spread it, because I think a lot of players still are really frustrated with the state of the game, and I think that would still resonate with a lot of people, especially with a really bad performance and crashes. But that just wasn't the case, and it was kind of refreshing, and I thought it was just a little bit more of people like moderating out. But now you've convinced me with your cat and the pigeon that it's the opposite side, that it's me. the white knight problem. The positive echo chamber has taken hold in 030. So I'll also stop you after. Dreamcore local hole. What are your opinions on this? Do you guys have different ones?
I didn't feel like things were. I thought we were straight back in 0.2 for like the first week of the league. Because I kind of just.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I can't believe this is happening again. Like, it's so much better, and everyone's just angry. Like, everyone's just so angry. And then I realized, I was like, it's those goddamn clip channels, dude.
Oh, yeah.
They just post negative stuff over and over and over and over, and then all I'm seeing is like, Ziz is raging at the game, this person's raging at the game, this person's raging. And then I actually saw a comment from Ziz on another person's video who's like, why?
I gave the game a 9 out of 10. Why are you saying I hate the game?
He was like, yeah, I really like this patch. Why do you think I don't like this patch? And I thought Ziz hated the patch because all I'd seen were negative clips of him. So I popped Ziz a DM and I was like, hey, I saw your comment. I think the reason is these clip channels are using your clips. And he was like, wait, really? And like, who's doing it? And then I linked him. I was like, these channels are doing it. And he was like, oh, well, that's like bullshit. I told these people to not use my clips for rage bait. And then he made a tweet about it. And now the clip channel seems to be like the next day, everyone's loving Path of Exile too. So I'm just really happy that like Ziz called them out, but at the same time I feel like it's impossible to watch everyone's stream, right?
Oh,
I can't keep track. So you kind of watch, you're like, oh, what's everyone saying about the game? But you end up with this really, really warped perspective where it's just the worst moments for the reasons that Dog said, is that like rage sells. People want to click the thumbnail that is like, this is the worst patch ever. People want to click that. And I don't think I realized how much of an influence those shitty clip channels were having. Like, dude, GFL, that's like all the cool stuff, all the fun stuff. And now there's just these dudes they've obviously got some like program that is scraping channels for like the most popular clips, and then they just upload it to the channel. And of course the most popular clips might be like Ziz jokingly raging out, but without context it looks like, oh, Ziz hates the league.
Yeah.
And then Ziz is like, why do you guys think I hate the league? I like, most of the time I'm saying good stuff. It's just like 30 seconds of his last 100 hours he's been raging. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I've got two things to say on this. First of all, I had the complete opposite experience this league. So I don't stream, right? So I don't have that kind of influx of people coming in and saying things to me in chat. I did not go on Reddit at all on the opening weekend. I didn't pay attention to anything, and I didn't know anything about any of this rage. I didn't see it until like the Monday or the Tuesday, and it was like days old on the clips thing at that point, right? So I had no idea about anyone's sentiment towards the league. I was just really enjoying playing the game, so I just completely avoided all of it. But on the topic of the clips channels, right, the problem with that is, as Sergog said, going sort of one way or the other in an extreme reaction is kind of going a bit off the deep end with it. Does get more views, often the case, if you're able to kind of pull up what's going on, if it's really positive or it's really negative. And the clips channels are really bad for that, because unlike, so if I put a video out saying the game's crashed, right, there's going to be a lot of views, but there's also going to be a ton of pushback on that, because there's always this divide, right? If a clips channel does a negativity farming video, they have no accountability at all.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who they are. They're just using everybody else's face instead of their own, and like that's just like the worst scenario, right? Because they as you said, they completely cut these things out of context. Like for the Zizarum clip, for example, that might have been like one moment where he was really heated in a stream of 8 hours plus, where he was having a great time. Like this is what they do. It's like Lockhole said, they've got a crawler which basically collects the best clips from each channel, most popular channels on Twitch for the particular game, and then they just put it into a video, and that's that. they call the video something really negative, like Path of Exile 2.
Worse than Dawn of the
0.3.
Hunt.
Yeah,
I think that
worse
was the
than Dawn of
first
the Hunt.
title.
Exactly,
I think it was
exactly,
like,
yeah.
streamers hate this more than Dawn of the Hunt and
But,
everything.
exactly, but
Yeah.
the problem is, like I said, there's no accountability there, right? When someone makes a video, when one of us makes a video on these topics, we have to. We're standing by our opinion. Everybody is, but it's the clips channels are just.
Yeah, they're a scourge. They're an absolute scourge. And you know what? So in Dawn of the Hunt, especially, and in previous leagues too, I made conclusions about like certain creators. This league though, after a certain incident involving tourism, I put it upon myself to go and listen to some long-form content from some of the people that I previously had conceptions about and had seen clips of, or had seen like Reddit highlights of, right? Reached the top of the thread. So this isn't any one person, this is multiple people. And I came to find exactly what you guys have kind of echoed here. I think people do play up certain aspects for money and everything, but a lot of the time, people are more moderated and more measured for, 75% of their content or something. And the absolute worst moments, or the most, because they might be good moments too, the absolute most shareable moments are always clipped out of context, and it colors your perception of people from all sides, 100%. Like, this is 100% happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to you, Local Hole, you, Sir Gog. People will take, 30 seconds of a stream, sometimes of a video. Never happens to you, Dreamcore, because you're always right in all your takes, and you're very analytical. But for other people, you might say something stupid or be exaggerating, and people will be like, that Try Guy? Biggest white knight for GGG I've ever seen. Holy crap, that's this guy's entire persona. When that's just not true. And I thought this about some people, and I have changed my opinion since then. So I would heavily encourage everyone here to not make a complete determination about any one individual based on a 30-second clip, no matter how egregious, annoying, ridiculous it'll be. Try not to let it completely color your perception of someone. That's what I put out there.
Just think for yourself of like the most cringeworthy thing you've said in the last week, the thing you've said in anger in the last week that doesn't necessarily reflect who you are, and also something you've said that's overly positive in the last week that isn't really what you think, but it's what you felt right at the time. And then factor in that if you clip enough times, you will find things like this for anyone.
Yeah, like saying like throwing a cat at the pigeons, right? Right.
I honestly thought
I'm
that was
just
a worldwide
kidding.
saying. Honestly thought that. Like, I really thought that was a worldwide saying.
It is gonna, Mr. Worldwide, Sir Gog. We're gonna
be
spread
now.
it. Yeah, it is. Yep. Hopefully,
It's such a good
saying.
saying.
It's a good saying.
It
I
is.
like it.
It is.
Well, I do like pigeons more than I like cats, though. So it's like,
What is wrong with you? Oh my God! I've almost kicked off 2 people from this podcast today. That's insane. That's crazy.
my street has this adorable flock of pigeons that, they're sort of collective pets of the street. Everyone feeds them.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay.
Australian pets.
Okay. Let's see, you guys. Did we have anything else we wanted to touch on? I know we talked about a good chunk of things. We're a little over 2 hours here. Any other
Did you see the
topics?
ritual drop rate, sadly?
Second? I did not. You want to talk
In
about
our
it?
Discord.
What happened?
In our Discord text chat related to this call.
Okay, let me open it up. What about ritual? Go for it. Bring it up.
But, if you have a look at the comment that I made just like a couple of minutes before you started the call, it's 3 minutes before you started the call.
Let's
Oh,
see.
the King in the Mist?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's mega profitable. I made tons of currency doing that.
428 King of the Mist runs. What in the
probably-
world? I haven't killed
probably done, like,
400 pinnacle bosses
50.
in my history of playing PoE 1, PoE 2 combined. That's
It's
crazy.
super.
You get fast at it if you specialize and you make a build that's ideal for it. But this one's interesting. This is only the base version of it. It's really profitable, but also just it gives you a sense of the relative drop rates of all the different omens as well. Because it looks like we're getting 2.5 or 3 omens per run, but then but you know, you get to see which ones are really common, like Resurgence, Refreshment, Greater Exaltation, Gambling and Bartering are all clearly in the most common tier. Then there's a clear next tier where they've got about 70 of them. So that's Omen of Ancients, Omen of Chaotic Monsters Rarity, and the ones for map rolling, and also Omen of Corruption, Sinistral Exaltation, Dextral Exaltation. And then there's another rarer tier beyond that, which is Omen of Catalyzing Exaltation, Omen of Amelioration, and then there's another rarer tier beyond that, which is where you start seeing some of the good stuff, Homogenizing Coronation, Homogenizing Exaltation. Actually, Homogenizing Exaltation is more common than that. It's in the tier before that. But yeah, there's like a bunch of really good stuff there. And then Dextral Crystallization, Sinistral Crystallization, and then you've got the rarer stuff that is actually really rare, like the Surgical Annul ones and the like.
Wow.
Really useful information. Maybe it's worth
Putting in the show notes?
Chat, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes, put it in the chat. The 30 div an hour profit is crazy. Man, that's a lot of divine head. Holy crap. I thought I was rich. I had 27 in my stash. I was like, oh yeah, let's go. I now have one. But that's the richest I've ever been in Path of Exile. So I got Rakiata's Flow from my very first Eye of the Storm. It felt really
No way.
Yeah.
I can one up you on that one actually, because on like day 3 of the league I do the Headhunter from the Reliquary Key.
What?
No way.
A reliquary
In
key?
Headhunter League.
It's rotting in my stash as well. I haven't sold it, and I refuse to sell it. It's gonna stay there. I'm not gonna use it. I'm re-rolling SSF. That's what's happening.
Wow. Good for you, man. Good for you. Keep it in your stash. It's a prize. Okay. a
Well, the
trophy.
thing is, right, so here's the thing, right? If I sold it when I dropped it, it would kind of trivialize the progression aspect of the game for me, because it was like that early into the league, and I didn't want that. I was like, no. Yeah, it was just literally a reliquary. So I play SSF normally, right? So for me, when something like that drops, it's like, I'm just immediately just going to go and open it. But I thought, hold on a minute, I'm playing trade for the first time in a long while. I'll check how much it's worth, right? The reliquary key was 6 exalts at the time. So I thought, I'm just going to go and open it, like, I don't care. Opened it, it's a Headhunter. At the time, Headhunter was, this was how early it was in the league. At the time, Headhunter was 20 divines. I think now it's like 60 or 70 or 80 or something like that.
Yeah. You are so ethical. Look at you. Oh my goodness. Not selling it,
I mean,
not
the
spoiling
thing
it
is,
for
like,
them.
I had this in PoE 1 as well, where I dropped a Headhunter, and it was like, oh no, it come from Mappers, and I was just like, I'm just not using it, right? This was in SSF as well, by the way, because obviously in PoE 1, Headhunter is a lot cheaper these days. But I was just like, no, I just don't want it. I just don't want it. Get it away from me.
Yeah, it can ruin your fun. I had a friend who got a day 4 duped mirror from a Strongbox. He quit the league within like 2 days.
Yeah,
because
that's-
he just leapfrogged over like 17 points of progression, got the ultimate endgame build, and then I was like, what am I doing? Like,
that's
I've got
kind
nothing
of
to play
why I
for.
started playing SSF in the first place. Because
Yeah.
For me, I always felt like it in trade. Like, and to be clear, I do think you can play trade league in a way where that doesn't happen. Like, you can be kind of, I don't want to say responsible, but you know, you can kind of try to experience the progression in a more natural way. Like, you can use the trade site to offset a bit of bad RNG and stuff like that. But what I found is that in my early days playing PoE, like when I used to play Trade League, I would just, the progression curve was basically just gone, right? And I would just get really powerful very quickly, and then it would ruin my enjoyment of the game. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why I started playing SSF in the first place. But I'm actually really excited to play SSF in this league now in PoE 2, because in my opinion, SSF wasn't great in the previous leagues, and now that they've introduced some really good crafting, I'm kind of interested to see. I'm almost a bit disappointed that I didn't start SSF this league, but I really wanted to try trade. And trade is so good with that new introduction. It's just so good.
You are going to find that some of the things that are really cheap and really powerful in trade aren't going to be options.
True.
Yeah.
Always the case, especially with some unique stuff. Now, before we close out, guys, I'm curious. So you're restarting Dream Core, and I know Local Hole, you're starting another character. So given, you know, PoE 1's league launch is at the end of October, people don't seem to be done with the PoE 2 league, which is really cool. What are we all gonna play for our second characters? I know Sirgog, you're gonna get past Waystones and everything, but Dreamcore, Local Hole, what are you guys gonna play for your second characters? Do you have any ideas yet? Oh, did I lose internet? Everyone's frozen. Chat, did I disconnect, chat? Or did Discord crash? My internet appears to be fine. Oh, did Discord crash? Discord! No! Oh. Okay. Well, let's give it a moment. I'll cut this. Let me do the big clap. Beep. I beeped instead of clap. All right. So Discord is currently down, guys. That's for my edit video. Here, I wonder if I restart the call, if that'll fix it. Here, one sec. Let me see if I restart the call, if it'll fix it. Join video call. New call. Maybe I'm working. Oh, new
Working.
call. New call worked.
Hello?
Hello. Local hole just peaced out.
He's gone.
Yeah,
He's
Local Hole
literally
was
like,
gone.
enough.
podcast over. All right. Well, I was gonna ask before Discord tried to F us. What's your second character gonna be? Dreamcore, do you have any ideas? An SSF.
So, I'm doing something really weird for my SSF character. So, back before the thing... Wait, I need to turn off your stream audio. Yeah, so back before the league launched, I was really interested in mortar cannon, right? Which looked really cool. But I didn't even know exactly... I wasn't confident with how it was going to work. And how it turns out that it works in the game is basically the best possible scenario. Every time you use mortar cannon, it like refreshes the charges of the grenades. It can use as many as you have, and then it has like boosted cooldown recovery, so you can continuously place totems, right? And it just uses all the grenades. So I'm doing something really weird, right? I am gonna try and play flash grenade as a main skill.
Oh my.
Okay, so here's the idea behind that, right? Flash grenade, main skill, mortar cannon, on a Titan, because Titan has a branch which is all about heavy stuns. Okay, so you can kind of get to stun faster, and then you have 50% more damage against stun targets. So I'm going to kind of lean into that a little bit, because it's a pure physical damage grenade. We can do like armor break on heavy stun, and then you can like really go into that with there's like a new sundered armor debuff on Sunder, which basically works the same as armor break, and it's scaled with armor break stats as well. So yeah. And also, as the guy's saying in chat, yeah, I'm actually going to be wearing sunglasses to play that.
I was gonna say, dude, flash grenade? Oh my god. We think that the other ones are bad. Jeez, man.
Yeah, I will actually be wearing sunglasses.
Thermal
straight up.
light
You know what it
screen.
is?
Yeah.
It's global illumination. I played PoE 2 for the first time with global illumination, and oh my goodness, the game's so pretty. But that's what causes the flashbang effect, because I had so many people in my chat like, dude, I can't. Flashbang's like, it's making my eyes hurt. I'm getting a headache playing this build. I was, what are you talking about? And then I turned up my graphics. I was like, oh shit, like this is really bright. So if you want to do that, you can just like make the game a little bit less pretty.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so Dream, that sounds pretty cool. Local hole.
Yep.
I think I know what you're gonna play. I saw your stream title, I think yesterday, but everybody else, what did you decide on? Are you doing the blood one?
Yeah, I want to do Blood Mage Reap. I don't think I've done like I haven't really done a caster deep into the end game, so I really want to do a caster, and then from there I want to test a few different archetypes, like take a melee build into the end game. But I'm really itching for some HC. I think currently this is gonna sound like so streamer elitist, but I'll
bring it on.
a lot of the game feels like really a bit too easy right now for certain builds. So either what I need to do is increase the challenge by playing like a less good thing, which is fine. I will do that, but HC feels like a really good challenge right now.
Have you tried playing Deadeye on a dance pad? Maybe you could do that.
Yeah, maybe do that. Softcore Deadeye on a DDR pad. Maybe dude.
might
There we
work.
go.
Okay, you're on a Roa. All right, so you're controlling your Roa via the dance pad too, right? Maybe the middle slam is the lightning arrow. It could work, man. It could be very entertaining, and
good.
you could get really fit at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Good exercise. I'll think about it.
Okay.
But there's kind of like for a lot of builds, there's you get to a point with your gearing where you're like, what's the point of you getting more damage, or because you're killing a boss, you're killing like Uber Opta in under a second, and then you say, do I need more damage?
So bad, guys. I did ethical arbiter for the. It wasn't Jupiter. Jupiter arbiter. Wow. Goodness. Ubiter. Yeah. Ubiter. But it was ethical. It was a 2-minute fight. I felt like Quinn. It was really good. I was doing all the mechanics and everything on my Halapal Monk. I can only imagine how long Uber Arbiter will take. Although I spent those 26 div, my damage went through the roof. So maybe I will experience this quick Arbiter run. We'll find out.
I've got something to say about Arbiter. This is like a complaint, okay?
Oh shoot, go for it.
Level 94 character, right? My Pathfinder. I haven't seen a single Citadel, and there's none.
I haven't either. I haven't
Not
seen either.
one single Citadel. I had to buy my fragment.
Really?
Same.
dude?
I still
Zero
have not
Citadel.
seen one.
I'm very close to one already.
Get wrecked,
I don't
guys.
know
Look
what-
at that.
I've looked all over the fog as well. Zero
That's
zero
insane.
Citadels.
Okay, so I
Nothing.
found one group of citadels, but that's it, which is pretty crazy. I'm level 92, I think. So they must have decreased the spawn rate of citadels then, because they're
There's
now all
something
grouped
weird.
together. But that's odd. That's kind of crap. I'm still of the mindset that that first citadel, at least the first, should be freaking deterministic. They should
Yeah,
say,
100%.
bam, it's straight north or west or whatever. There's the citadel group. You head toward it. So by like level 89, 90, you're facing Arthur or something. At the latest, honestly. And if you beeline, maybe
It's-
even earlier.
I
I
think
agree,
maybe
and
once you finish the final like corruption, the tier 15 corruption, you should get access to the normal arbiter, and then it like explains to you need to like look for the citadels to then do it like again. Would that be a way to do it?
That's
I don't know.
RNG
That'd be
still,
good.
though, right, guys?
Well, the corruption is a lot less RNG though, isn't it?
Man, I've only found
Yeah,
like
corruption's not really RNG. It's
Yeah, no, that's close. But I've seen some people in chat like, how could you not have found one? I found 9 sets of citadels.
Oh, that's
And they're
wild.
lower level than me, and other people, I found 4. It's like, I've beeline down trying to look for it, and they just
Yeah,
do
same.
not spawn.
Yeah. That's
GG
just,
have investigated this for some individuals that have bug reported it. 'Cause I had a bug report to make recently about a different issue, and this, like, I noticed that and I was like, I'll have a look, and because there was a GGG response, and they had gone and looked at someone's account that had made a bug report and just said, yeah, you have just genuinely been unlucky. We can see citadels. You're reasonably close to them. I'm not going to tell you where, but you're reasonably close to some.
Yeah, that's how I expect it is. It's like you go down and you're just frustrated, like, but you've just gone in the wrong direction. They are there, they're just so close, but you just not,
Yeah.
you just don't find them.
I think
But yeah,
there's
Yeah,
it is. I think right now it's a little bit. It's not quite there in terms of because it feels like at that level you should definitely have fought the normal arbiter right at that stage.
yeah, I still think the first set deterministic and make them a little less rare, personally. So hopefully they
Yeah.
do that so we can see some
You
more
could just have it
citadels.
drop as a unique map, a guaranteed unique map that you put in the realm gates, and then it teleports you there. Also, I mean, it's very easy to sort out.
Yeah. Hey, endgame 0.4 expansion is supposed to be this. You know, they've said it multiple times in multiple interviews after 0.3. 0.4 is going to be very endgame focused. So we're going to go full Hopium. We're going to get an awesome league like Abyss. We're going to get an endgame edition, and we're going to get the Druid. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so exciting. It's going to be 80% player base in the strength int part of the tree. It's going to be so fun. Oh, I'm so excited.
I hope you're right.
Oh.
I hope you're right.
I think one of the things I'm most interested about that because I'm not really like a huge druid. Like I'm gonna play it, but I'm not that excited about the class in particular. But the thing that I'm really excited for is them addressing that section of the tree.
Yeah.
Because they're adding a class there. They're gonna have to look at that section of the tree and like make adjustments because it is so incredibly garbage, right? And most of the stuff in that section of the tree isn't great at the moment.
My other hope,
I'm-
you touched on it too, is that they add a few more ascendants, like another ascendancy or a couple, maybe even fill out the set to that part of the tree, and even like the north side. Like Sorks doesn't have her third yet. He doesn't have her third. Warrior, or no, Warrior's all good. Like, there's no ascendancies over there. So I don't know. The good classes are going to get more ascendancies. That's kind of crazy, actually. So like Ranger's going to get another ascendancy, Huntress. So, huh.
Surely they'll drop Druid with 3, right?
Already. I don't think it's necessarily the case that we need the 6th one anytime soon.
I think Chrono and Stormweaver are a little boring. Is that just me? I have seen one really cool Chrono build, an Incinerate Chrono. I saw like a highlight reel of it, like killing Pinnacle bosses. They just freeze the Pinnacle boss, they T-pose, and then Incinerate. It's actually pretty fun.
While we're talking cool builds, can I just plug the coolest thing I've seen on Path of Exile builds 2 recently? This is the character that is currently 19th on the hardcore solo self-found ladder, although they're dead. Lime's Unethical Titan. And this character just looks so awesome. It is a ridiculously high energy shield Chaos Inoculation Titan.
Of course.
And the Reddit had I posted a link in our chat, but the Path of Exile Builds 2 Reddit had a small write-up by the person who's come up with it. It just looked like such a fun setup.
All right, I'll link that in the show notes below. Fizz Fire Titan, 20,000 energy shield, Chaos Inoculation, Evasion. My goodness. Just
did go
jumping
splat
around,
somehow.
throwing Storm, Forge Hammer. Forge Hammer looks pretty sick, but I haven't touched it. It looks cool, but gotta give it a go.
I'm actually thinking this is something I'm considering giving a go to because it just looks so cool.
I guess.
That looks super fun.
It's an area of the tree that no one's in, and well, I mean, it's not like it actually stays in that area of the tree, but it does somewhat of a Skillgrimage across the whole passive tree. But it's just really cool.
Very cool, you guys. Very cool. All right, despite that little technical hiccup at the end, I think we are good to go. Dream, Locahole, Sir Gog, thank you guys all so much for coming to another episode of the Pod of Exile. And thanks everybody in the live chat and watching this as a pod on YouTube for watching. Make sure, if you haven't already, go check out all these guys' channels, all their videos, their streams. They are great. They'll be in the description below. And if you haven't already, why the heck haven't you subscribed to this channel where the Pod of Exile is hosted? And why haven't you liked the video? You are 2 hours and 25 minutes into it. You really should like the video if you're spending that much of your time giving it a watch so that we know that you want to see the next one. Okay, guys, thanks so much. Let's say peace out. Thanks to Mobalytics for juicing this podcast. We really appreciate it. I think we're going to continue having fun in 0-3, and we will see you guys probably for a dissection of the end of the league and what's happening with PoE 1 in about a month's time. Thanks, everybody, so much.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Good job.
See ya.
Cheers.
All right, video cut. Slight technical problem with Discord, but awesome chat, you guys. Thank you so much. I looked at the time when we were talking about the balance, and I was like, oh, whoa, 45 minutes. What? That's crazy. we were just ranting. I was like, wow. Okay, but I think people will find it pretty compelling. It's a pretty interesting topic, so hopefully they're not like, balance for 45 minutes. I'm out. I sleep. So, no, it was good.
I mean, I think it's a big topic.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Your
Biggest
video dream. Holy shit. I'm also, I don't know if you understand. I'm glad it popped. I know that you were like upset.
Yeah, me
a little
too.
upset
I,
about-
I broke
Yeah.
the curse there.
You
dude. I
broke the
curse.
freaking curse, man. I'm glad it popped. I finally watched it yesterday. It was really well done. And it was like, watching Flubgun's build, I was like, oh my god.
That's ridiculous, dude.
I literally
It
don't
is
watch.
crazy though. Like looking at I mean, obviously, like Waggle's build is really good, by the way. The one that I put.
Yeah,
the
I saw
clip
that.
there. But you
Yeah.
can just see the
Volcanic
difference,
Vision,
right?
that one, right?
Like it's crazy. Like that was his like min-max version of build. And it's a really good build. But the Deadeye one is just it's ridiculous, dude. It's just like running at full movement speed, just right-clicking everything's just dying.
On the Roa. On the freaking Roa. What is with that Roa?
I don't know about the Roa, guys. Okay, I don't know about the Roa.
We didn't
I think
even
that one's
touch on the
it's gotta
Roa,
go.
but
The Roa's got to go, guys. I'm sorry.
Like,
They buffed it this league as well, which was just
Dude.
mad.
dude.
It wasn't
Yeah.
a big buff, but it should have been. It should have taken 5 lessons.
Either they remove the Roa or they add an elephant tortoise mount for warriors. Because how cool would that be? Those monsters in Act 4 on Whakapanu Island? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they
we
have
ride
to make
those.
you go slower. It's a tortoise, so you go slower. It's reduced.
Okay, but
And you
but-
deal less damage.
but you get armor instead. So it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Armor's
How
actually.
about-
I know
about you can
armor's
ride
kind of
the rower?
good, especially if
What
you
about
can
if you
scale
can
it.
ride the rower with a mace though? Like you ride the rower with a mace and you like whack people like on the side of the mace, right?
Rolling
Like, that's-
slam on Roa would be kind of sick, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Like the rower does like a barrel roll and you just like
Oh,
land-
see, I
land
was
on-
thinking you kind of like do kind of like a slam as you're going like this, kind of like wow, you know. But the Roa rolling is cool. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
No, but Roas, why can't you use crossbows on Roas? What is this? This is egregious.
Yeah,
Come on,
that
add
that is
crossbows. That'd
yeah,
be-
that is a bit
It's
weird.
too loud. Too loud. It'll scare it.
Oh,
That's what I.
maybe true. Maybe true, dude. It's a little gunshot. I get it.
I also I got that. I was like, oh sweet, I've got some extra spirit. I'm gonna throw on a rower, and then I was like, wait.
Yeah.
You
Read
can't,
the
yeah,
gem.
sad.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the rower. I think that's something that's it's kind of one of those things that it doesn't align with like the way they were trying to design the game like way back when. Maybe they just are not in that mindset anymore, and they're not really. But it just feels like it's completely opposite to what they wanted this game to be like.
Yeah,
That-
there's
Oh,
been
yeah.
quite a few contradictory
Need
things like
something?
that where
No need to rush.
I remember there was an interview where someone asked Jonathan about crafting, and one of his things was like one of the core philosophies is there must be no destructive crafting, and I was like, what is an annul? What is a chaos orb?
Yeah,
And
that,
like,
that
why-
is so
why-
fundamentally changed. Really has.
I don't understand. You know what I have changed my opinion on is I don't think we need scours anymore.
Oh yeah,
Just
for
give
sure.
us-
For
yeah,
sure,
we
yeah.
don't need that.
You
So
changed my
I-
mind
I
on
mean-
alts with the waiting discussion. I think that because
That-
I think
that
that's
was
my problem.
smart.
I think that's my problem because I'd be like so scared that I'd have to like engage with it. But if it's a top end thing where it's just the alts are rare and you can engage with that, right? Either if you're farming it or
Yeah.
playing, like I get that. That's
And you get the
I was
perfect
thinking more about that.
grader.
And I reckon you could have a standard alt that's the same rarity as a greater exalt. You
Yeah.
could have
Yeah.
a greater alt that is the same rarity as a divine orb, and you could have a perfect alt that is at least as rare as an orb of chance. Orb of chance is the rarest of the base currency, so it was...
I don't know, I think that's too rare because then you're just still gonna go for the base. If it's as rare as the divine, then you're still gonna base spam, won't you?
Well, you've just got various options. The thing is
I
that you're
guess
not
so.
getting... You're getting to this spot where if you want to just dabble with alts, you have enough of them to do a little bit of dabbling, but not enough to dominate crafting. And then you've got the higher tier ones as options as well, which sort of mimic an annul and an uber augmentation.
Care for a story?
Yeah, true. I guess. I don't know. They'll probably figure it out. They'll figure it out.
you know what they're probably gonna do, local hole. They're gonna
Yeah.
introduce scours via some ridiculous league mechanic, kind of like how we go to the Well of Souls, do unveil stuff right now. I bet they're gonna do that with Scout. I could see that happening. Or what if they did like a kind of Diablo 2 style thing? And I didn't know this was a thing in Diablo 2 until I actually like played it relatively recently, where you can like talk to the Smith girl in Act 1 and forge a super powerful item. What if they have like a quest reward where you can scour one item throughout
like
your
the
entire
imbue,
character's
but-
life? Like, oh my god, like
That would be bad. That
wouldn't
was a
that be
bad
so
mechanic.
bad?
Dude, when I was a kid, the imbue quest, I would get an item and I would go to Chassis and imbue it, and if I got a bad thing, I would like flip the power on the CPU before it could save.
Wow.
And do that like 50 times, and holy, I must have
Really?
done so much damage to the computer as a
Dang.
kid.
You know, something we didn't talk about, and this might be a me thing. The optional buffs in the campaign and interludes, guys, I totally missed the 7 pillars one until yesterday.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
great
that one.
shooting.
read
Yeah,
my
yeah.
guide.
I could.
Isn't that one like the last time I looked at that? Like it shows you some buffs, but then it gives you some extra buffs like on top of those it doesn't show you. Like when you look at the thing, it's like because there's some like basic buffs, right? Like there's like one buff for each. There's 6 pillars with like, you know, 1 buff.
Yep.
And then there's 1 pillar with like all of those negatives.
And 5% XP. Yeah.
yeah.
Which is crazy.
But then I saw some post. I think it might have been on the Reddit about like the buffs. They give you some other stuff as well, but it's not disclosed. Maybe that
didn't
was
know
just
that.
yeah.
Maybe I did use
What do
your
you-
guide on Mobalytics, by the way, local hole, because I saw somebody talking about it on Reddit, and I was like, what is 7? Like I saw an image, and they didn't explain like where it was, and I was like, what the heck is this? So I searched PoE2 7 pillars, local holes, Mobalytics.
Oh, it's a visual bug.
Popped
Oh,
up.
it's a visual
It's a
bug.
visual bug.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Because I couldn't see it, so oh, it's a visual bug. Yeah, I totally got those 15% increased defenses. I think my energy shield went up by like 250.
Yeah, that's what I got as well. Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I've full explored Act 4 and the interludes just to get that list out on day 1.
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
And I've actually been using it myself. I mean, like, wait, where's that one again? On my new character.
Nice.
So,
Yeah. Yeah,
The interludes they really nailed as well. I think like for something
Yeah.
that's temporary, they don't feel temporary.
Oh, damn it! That's the topic that I wanted to get in. Maybe we'll do it next chat. The whole like.
I don't think we didn't even discuss Act 4, right?
No, we didn't
No,
even
we
discuss
didn't.
Act 4. Well, guys, we can do one more. You know, we can do a post-mortem of the league. But yeah, like the interludes and everything. I actually enjoyed those massively, and I've seen some people pose because I'm for playing through the campaign and not skipping directly to maps. I saw like an idea where if GGG wanted to be like introduce alternate leveling paths, like they just create interludes. Like if you complete the campaign once, you could just create like a set of like could even be like, and I know this sounds crazy, but like imagine in 3 years like 20 interludes, and you can like choose a path to level to the end game if you don't want, because they're minimal story, right? It's basically just killing bosses and monsters. The dialogue options are almost nothing. So it's very different from the campaign where you have to flip through all the dialogue, you have to do all the optional stuff, you know. So
okay.
that might be kind of interesting. That's way better than just going to maps, in my opinion. So let's look at that progress. But
I don't know what the whole solution is, like why some people hate the campaign so much.
oh, people
I think
hate
it's
it so
that
much.
they get the enjoyment out of, like, we need someone on the podcast who can explain it, because I don't think that will solve the problem.
There's, like, I think it's clearer when you think of PoE 1, and there is definitely a section of the player base that doesn't really have fun until they have the 5 Scarab unlock and like 100, maybe 110 Atlas bonus.
Yeah.
Now, PoE 2, it's kind of a different split. In PoE 1, you have a clear halfway through that process is killing Katava in Act 10. You know, may not be half for every player, but it's something like it's something like half. And then after that, you've got the you start getting a lot more agency over what you're farming, even as you're going through the Atlas. Even though there's now pretty clear, everyone agrees on the best way to do it. But if you want to just, you know, if you want to just be like, oh, I want to take a break, I'm going to do some Abyss stuff while I'm leveling, because I want to break from efficiency, you can do that. You don't have much agency for quite a while in PoE 2. And I think the solution is actually what they did in Act 4, where they're like, here's a Delirium intro, here's an Expedition intro, except we're kind of hiding it. All that sort of stuff is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that. Yeah, that was pretty sweet. I just wanted to bring this up, guys. I did a poll the other day, and I know my audience is PoE 2 lovers, right? But it had 7,500 votes on YouTube. And I was basically saying, campaign skip, no campaign skip, a mixture of something, and leave a comment below what your mixture was. Got 338 comments on a YouTube poll from 2 days ago.
That's crazy.
7,000.
Polls go pretty off sometimes.
Sorry, say again?
Polls do well on YouTube sometimes.
Yeah, they do incredibly well.
I'm one of the 38%.
You're one of the 38%? Oh yeah, I also voted
yeah, me
38%.
too.
That's where I am.
My idea for a middle ground would be that permanent buffs that you unlock
Yep.
apply to all characters
Yes.
that league. And then you combine that with twink gear, like leveling
Right.
uniques and support gems, dude, you would go so much faster. And
But
so many people.
But do you get the buff immediately spawning, or do you only get it in that?
Yeah.
act?
In the act.
No,
You want to get it. You want to get it immediately.
No, in the
At
act.
the
I saw.
start.
Oh,
you
I
say in the act.
No way.
not at the start.
I-
Because you'd have
Okay,
it'd be,
so per
like,
act.
Yeah, like when
complete
you
the act
enter
and
in the
get
act.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. In the act.
when you enter
Okay.
Act 1, for example,
Okay.
you'd have like 10% fire, or is it 10% fire res from the candle guy,
res,
2 skill
yeah.
points, right? And then when you get to Act 2, you get those, so on and so forth. I think
Okay.
that is an interesting middle ground. That's one that I was like, okay, on subsequent characters, as long as you did the quest. Like, they're
Yes,
kind of
yeah.
like the salvage bench, where if you unlock
Pantheon.
it once, you
Yes.
unlock it on all your characters, right, for that league. I thought that was a pretty cool middle ground idea. It's kind of like what they did with Diablo 4 and Statutes of Lilith.
I've seen people say like, "Oh, unlock all waypoints." Like, dude, that you're just gonna end up at level 14 in Act
No,
4. Like, that doesn't actually solve anything. So-
Can you imagine how like terrible that would look like if you're watching a stream of some guy just
Yeah.
click waypoint to waypoint, do this waypoint to waypoint, like in the
That's-
campaign, it would just
Yep.
be so disjointed as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
there-
think
There's a lot of opinions
There's-
about this, but yeah, I'm of the mindset that like they wanted to make this a really enjoyable experience, and that's the thing. I think it is, and it's a part of the game too. That's the
Yeah.
other thing. It is a part of the game, but I think a lot of people are really pressing on the fact, and I think a lot of them, this is I think a PoE 1 brand thing, or just an ARPG player thing, that it's going to take a super long amount of time forever. Not true. Like, people with Act 4 were like, oh my god, longest act, this is crazy, way too long. The campaign has stretched out to a really large degree. I really don't think that's true. And once you like ran it a few times, I think it's gonna be pretty
it's
short.
really quick.
It is
yeah.
quick.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna get fast.
It's gonna get way
like-
faster.
Practice.
It's like you get someone that's a rookie in PoE 1, and you ask them, all right, clear up everything up to and including 4 void stones in the Feared.
Oh god.
That's going to take them forever.
Yep.
How long does it take the best hardcore solo self-found players to do it? And obviously that's with 2 hard modes in play. It's like 15 to 18 hours to do the whole Atlas.
Softcore. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And people don't realize that it's like the player base as a whole is just extremely inexperienced.
Oh yeah.
Some people, they're like,
Four
oh yeah.
is so linear. All the maps are so linear, you guys. I don't know if people realize this, but every single map in Act 4, you like, it's point A to point B. There's not a lot of, it's not like Act 3, in my opinion. Where Act 3, there's like, oh, you can go in many different directions.
I think
Can
Act
I
3
say
is
it's
super
Act
easy.
2 that I love?
I think Act
Yeah,
3
Act
is so
2.
long. What is wrong with me?
Act 3, you just hug the walls in like the open areas and you find the thing, and then the interior areas have a pretty deterministic layout.
Whereas
That's
2
very
is
easy to
so
follow.
many load screens. So many
2
load
is,
screens.
dude, 2 is so long.
There's a lot of things in Act 2 that are just kind of annoying, like the immediately when you go into the town, then you have to go to see the Helene
Helene
gates,
gates.
and the Helene gates is blocked. Okay, now I need to go back, and then there's another load screen. Now I need to go to the thing again. Click that.
Yeah.
Now I need to go. You know, it's just like you're getting like 6 or 7 load screens immediately as soon as you enter Act 2. Like,
The desert
Yeah.
it must be blinding. So it's like, I love Act 1 and 2, but Act 3 like it's in my opinion it's like Act 4, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and Act 3 is like way down here to me. I don't know what it is about that act. It's just
for me, it's like
Two and three are
that
close.
is that order for me, but Act 2 and 3 are down there.
way down there.
For me, Act 1 and 4 are like peak. But they're like really, really good. And then Act
Yeah.
2 and 3 need a lot of work, in my opinion.
It just feels like there's too many areas. There's like a couple too many areas where you like you feel, oh, I'm kind of at the end of Act 2, and then you're like, oh wait, no, I still have to go through that section before I do that, and then I can do that. Because there's like the Halani gates, and then you go through the quarry, and then you're like, okay, sweet, now I go to Keth, and you're like, oh wait, I still have to go through the Halani, the Trader's Passage, and then the tower. And then you get to the end of that, and then you can do Keth and whatnot. But it kind of feels like if 1 or 2 areas got just like cut out, it would feel a lot smoother. Or just if the area size got reduced a bit. I don't know. Or if they just put more cool stuff in, like Jonathan says. Which I think is right. If an area is large, but there's enough cool stuff in it, then it just ends up feeling like 2 areas in one without a load screen. So,
although then you do have the issue of you doing a lot of content at the same monster level in a row.
yeah, and then you're going to end up over leveled, and then they might go. I mean, like what they did with PoE 1, there were a lot of zones that got cut out. There was like between Prisoner's Gate and Merveil's Caverns, there used to be an area called what was it, like Strand or something?
The
that was full of tar. The Coves, yeah. That ended up getting just cut once they added in the newer acts.
All those sorts of places that got trimmed. Yeah, that was needed. Like, that's the thing though, that when they went from 3 acts to 4 acts, they had to do that. And then when they went from 4, they went straight to 10, so they ended up getting that pretty right. And I don't think they've trimmed any zones since that point.
Someone wanted these.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
to remain
I
shut.
thought that Act 4 wasn't gonna be as polished as the other acts, right? Especially Act 1. And shockingly, maybe it's stupid in retrospect, I feel like they just applied a lot of the learnings from Acts 1 through 3 to Act 4, and it feels as polished as Act 1 to me. Or at least it's tight. And I was very surprised at that. I thought it was gonna be a little jank. So.
They're gonna have to do a lot of work to top Act 4 with Act 5.
Right. Hey, yeah, Act 5, Act 6, Matt. Ooh.
Well, I mean,
I
Act
do-
6 is. I think Act 6 is gonna get there because I think they're gonna go for a bit of a different design, like style-wise. It's gonna
So
be more.
hype.
I actually kind of expect it to be more like Monster Hunter. You're just playing boss after boss after boss, but it's
Yeah.
not as long.
Yeah.
But Act 5 is going to be another sort of story-driven, like, act like the others. So
I've
I
heard
think
from some insiders that Act 6 is about 40% of the other acts.
Yeah, exactly.
that's what
That
I
makes
was
sense, right? Because it's
thinking.
like this epic conclusion. They want to kind of make it really. They don't want to dull it down with lots of moving between areas and things like that. They just want it to be really front-loaded, epic.
Oh, guys, that's so exciting. Oh my god, it's gonna be
That's
so
what
good.
10 is in 1. Like, 10 in PoE 1,
Yeah.
you don't necessarily do it super fast because it's miles harder than 9, unless you're really strong, and so you do have that sense of slowdown, but if you can do it at full speed, 10 is really fast. It's by far the fastest in 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always feels like if I get there, like, really late, I'm always, doesn't matter because I can just do this super fast. Like, I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna finish Act 10. It always feels super quick. As long as I don't go and kill
I need to head off anyway.
Valenta. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for the podcast, you guys.
Yeah, good
I
chat,
really
guys.
Appreciate it. Well, we'll chat later, okay, you guys? I'm gonna go kill
Cheers.
Geonor. Cheers. Bye, you guys.
All right.
See ya.
catch you later.
See ya,
Bye.
Cigar. See ya, alcohol. All right, chat. W or L? We're gonna play for 15 minutes. We're gonna kill the Act 1 boss on our sword, and then we're hopping off. W or L, chat? Did you guys enjoy that? Also, you were here live. You get a little bit of the extra juice, right? Because that's not gonna make the main episode. So, did I make the main episode? No, probably not. Probably not. I don't know. I don't have a lot of time to edit, unfortunately, because I'm going to the zoo. Maybe I'm gonna throw some cats at the pigeons, though. My wife. Maybe I'll throw. It's like a wrench into the works, right? I'm gonna throwing a wrench into the works. That's the American saying, right? Okay, that was pretty cringe. That could probably be put as a very cringe thing. W. Nice. The past is the best bit. Oh man. Got some hot takes. I saw that Alan likes Act 3. Absolute madman, but your opinion is your opinion. Eurus Tarot, thanks for the 2 gifted subs. Pentacle94, thanks for T1. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, thank you guys. All right. Yes, cause chaos. Yep. Okay. Also, I saw somebody saying that I was giga positive about Perry during Dawn of the Hunt. I don't know if you're still in the chat. Did you watch my stream? I was pissed about Perry because I was trying to make Frostfang work, or Fangs of Winter work, and Perry was terrible. You must be misremembering my stream because I really wanted to make that skill work, but you had to parry to get it to work. And it felt horrible. I don't. If I was giga positive about parry, then I apologize. 'Cause my memory is like, Fangs of Winter looks so cool. Oh, but you need to parry to make the big burst of damage. Oh my gosh, parrying sucks. Maybe I'm completely shot. I might be totally wrong on that point, but yeah, Local Hole, thanks for joining, bro. That was really fun. Same with you, Sir Dog, Dreamcore. Okay. All right. Like I couldn't do the parry thingy. Like, I understand it's possible, but it was too clunky for me. All right. Can we down the act boss? Maybe. We're gonna find out. Yeah, I really hate that for that spell to work, you're forced to parry, and parry just has to be active all the time. Super rough. Yeah, because you have to play it against trash mobs. Well, it's just not meant to be a core skill, which is really unfortunate, because I think it's a really cool skill. Do I have some... Oh, yeah, I could do that. And then? Here. Here. Anything else from the chat that I wanted to elaborate on as we finish up here, guys? No, I think it was a really good chat. Yeah, I wanted to talk more about the campaign, but I think we touched on everything that that was really poignant and pertinent. So, oh, we did not talk about Sprint. No. See, we got a lot of stuff we can still talk about. So with our wrap-up episode. So, what's my plan for the Sork? I'm going to go ice if I can. That is basically my plan right now. Also, I need to get Firewall going. That's very important. So my sparks actually deal damage. But I'm in SSF right now. We're just trying out some stuff, seeing if it works. What do I mean, ice? You need all elements for infusions. Yeah, we're gonna see how that feels. Because I've been hearing that you need to play a piano to make it work. Well, I'm not a pianist, so if that is the case, then we're really gonna struggle, you guys. I have not seen any Sork gameplay.
Little lair.
WASD and piano, good luck, holy moly. Yeah, I'm not a pianist, so if I actually need to play the piano, I'm probably going to bounce from the Sork pretty quick. I don't like all the infusions and you have to go to collect them. Yeah, I didn't like that with Acolyte Chayula. That you had to go collect all the infusions or the flames. So if this is a bunch of the same, I might not like this either. We'll see. I'm reserving judgment. I'm playing for myself. Okay?
Don't go.
Alright, but we're gonna get Gianor down, I swear. What are fun starters? I really liked Hollow Palm. Hollow Palm Invoker is really fun. I'd highly recommend that. Okay.
I was talking with someone on Reddit who apparently worked on it.
Okay, do we have... Oh, I don't have anything on Frostbomb? That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. Fart. That's no freezing shards. Okay. Alright, here we go. Controller is much better for the pianist builds. Alright, guys. Boss fight time. Here we